Oh yeah, I'm excited for this episode. Title: The Troublemaker. Oh yeah. I've out of all the sermons I've heard and talks, I rarely hear one about this aspect. It's usually things we talk about like be this guy, be the good guy, etc., etc. But I believe the ones who make a difference in this world, my personal opinion, are the troublemakers. Think about it. The people that, quite frankly, are not accepted. I don't even mean that you're a black sheep. It's like it's kind of impossible. You can't make waves or rock the boat and not get classified as a troublemaker. You look at people like any renowned person in human history, and in that present moment they were ridiculed. But then when they die, and then like 5 years later, everyone's building statues of these people. Oh, this guy was amazing. I mean, they weren't saying that on the day. I'm going to use this again so it's easy for mental consumption. But MLK, and when he died, now they're making statues of good. They got MLK Day. Like, what the? They didn't have MLK Day when he was alive. What's up with that? Where was that when he was alive? Where were all these words of they? Now they have Martin Luther King Street. Oh, well, where was that when he was alive? Oh, that's right. Because when he was alive, he was controversial. And isn't that interesting? When you want to make a difference, a contribution to your society, to the culture, you have to be controversial. To stand for a side, you have to be in stark opposition of another side. So if you ever need an idea what your purpose is, I don't know, I guess pick a side and then look at the thing you're opposed inadvertently. I think it's funny, especially with some groups today. They think it's their objective to be friends with everybody. That is your calling. Um, I think you're wrong, in my personal opinion. I don't see how that's possible. I do not see how that's possible. How you can satisfy every faction and group in America, as far as I'm concerned, without another fraction getting pissed at you because you're eating with the Gentiles, so to speak. So you're gonna have to pick a side. I hate to say it like that, but if you have values and beliefs, there are people, you haven't figured this out yet, that have opposite values and beliefs. What I call this the troublemaker. I notice in my life, this might be a biggest hurdle for someone else as well. So I want this to help you and save you some time. If your goal is to maybe I can live a life and ask questions in such a way where I don't get on anyone's nerves. Well, let me give you some advice in the words of Napoleon Hill. The only way to not have failure or confrontation is to do nothing and be nothing. That's right. The only way to not rock the boat is jump off the boat and like perish. There's just no way. You're in it. If you want to make a difference, you're gonna have to, I won't say be different, but you're different. Duh. If you can't be the same and make a difference, it doesn't make any sense. Look at the story of Moses. That guy was a troublemaker. This guy walks up on Pharaoh. It's like, yo, let my people go. He's like, well, who the heck is this? Who is this fool? Like, he walked up on me. 40 years later, walks up on me like, hey, I need you. We're done. What? Yeah, for the people of, for the Hebrews, he was the savior. Like, hey, the deliver us. He's here. But for Pharaoh, he's like, oh, look at this troublemaker. This guy is trying to rock the boat. Now, this is not a talk to justify stand against the authorities and raise all hell to break loose. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: you have to decide what is more important, being comfortable or getting things done. What do I mean by getting comfortable? Oh, I don't want people to get. Do you know? Let me say it this way. Do you know the most destructive force on this planet is a man or woman who is made up in their minds, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to say what needs to be said. I'm going to do what needs to be done. And you know what? This is the right thing to do. Notice I said the right thing to do. Like this better not, you better not be throwing Molotovs or something. But I'm going to do this on the basis of the values that I believe in that are aligned with God. I'm going to say that right now. Jesus Christ. Like, nothing crazy or tyrannical. And I'm going to stay on that. And you know what? I would rather be canceled by the culture than forsaken by my father. I'm going to do this. And I don't care what anyone else or anything else has to say about that. Even if that gets a little uncomfortable and I lose some friends, well, so be it. That's what I'm willing to do to make the difference. Well, I'll be. That's something you realize why that's so destructive? Because most people that say they want to make a difference are not willing to rock the boat. They are not willing to. You ever notice if you ask a question, you're actually one of the most courageous people in school? Oh, I know. They say, "Oh, I don't ask questions so we can get through the class faster." Brother, please. The class is 24 minutes every day. You got to spend 24 minutes. Someone in here has got to have an active mind. And isn't it funny how the one who has the most active mind tends to be the most greatest leader? Ask a question, man. But it's more than asking a question. It's like the basis of it, man. An active mind is a very dangerous thing. And a mind that is not intimidated by authority, or I should say, other people's auspicism, their opinions. They're more concerned about what is right, and they're willing to risk everything to in pursuit of that knowledge. That is one dangerous person. I got news for you. If that person is not on your side, you will get brought down. Those people will contact whoever. They will find a way to bring you down. I promise you that. That is that's the power of truth, man. Truth and just consistently seeking the truth. They are dangerous people because if people aren't asking questions and they're very stupid, you know what I notice in my line of work? What I noticed is that people that are ignorant and don't like confrontation, oh my goodness, that's the wonder twins of destruction. These two things, they're very easy to manipulate and control. But if said person, I wouldn't even say is they're intelligent, but they have the capacity to learn new things and understand new things, so they keep asking questions. So they're always learning. That's dangerous. And secondly, they are willing to ask at the risk of confrontation. They ask questions. Someone's like, well, why? And they're like, well, blah, blah, blah. They keep going. It's like, that's a dangerous somebody. They're willing to ask questions and they are more concerned with the truth than they are with. They are so uncomfortable with ignorance and lies that they'll keep pursuing the truth and asking questions till they figure it out. Oh, yeah, that's a dangerous somebody. In fact, if I were you, your circle of friends should be aligned with people of that nature because oh yeah, they not only are they very smart or they will get very smart and they're very dangerous, they are very powerful because there is a point, there is an apex where that knowledge gets to a point where they are so effective in what they do. Let's just say it this way, you want them on your side. Let's just say it like that. That is not somebody you want to mess with. Not because that's a threat, because you will lose. They have the truth and they are not afraid of anyone that doesn't have the truth because they know they won. It's not a contest, folks. What are you gonna beat me with? A lie? I'm gonna destroy you. Oh, some union stewards I met, man, I'm like, oh my goodness, you can't beat these people. They're not intimidated by anything or anyone because they have the truth and they're aggressive. I would argue that that's why I call this a troublemaker. You need a degree of aggression to be successful in life. Not oppression, not tyranny, but aggression. A point where you're willing to basically fight for your own life. If you don't fight for your life, you forfeit your life. Let me say it this way: if you don't fight for your rights, you forfeit your right. It's crazy to me how a lot of people they want life to give them everything on a silver platter. It's a nice thought, but it's not true. Even the Hebrews, the children of Israel, when they went to isn't it funny that God told them, "Hey, this is the promised land. It's a land full of milk and honey, and it's yours. You go and get it, champ." And they get there, and guess what? There's giants there. I thought to myself, now listen, Lord, you just told us previously that this land was ours, and the promises of God were yes and amen. I'm looking over here, and well, it's inhabited. So what we gotta do now? Well, I guess you're gonna have to kill these brothers. Isn't it interesting that even there's another verse that says, "I'll give you vineyards, your vineyards that you didn't build, houses, vineyards you didn't grow, and houses you didn't build." It's like that's interesting. Well, he's saying we can have it, but it seems that there is a process to actually appreciate and attain it. But I digress. Whew. Well, there you go, troublemaker. If that's you, I want to reassure you and I want to encourage you that if you want to make a difference, you're going to have to be a troublemaker. You're going to have to rock the boat. You're going to have to ask questions. And if you are willing to do that, I promise you, you're probably a main character. Because everyone else, I'll be honest with you, they may not want to do that. And that's okay. You can be a side character. That's not even an insult. Maybe you're supposed to help the main character. That's good too. The pearly gates will open up to you. Hey, you fulfilled your purpose. You helped out the main character. God bless you. Not everyone's supposed to have that Joshua spirit. Some people gotta be like Moses and raise up their hands. Y'all don't read your Bible, but I'm look it up. Joshua only won because Moses raised his hands. So there are roles that we all have to play. Though Joshua was the fighter, Moses, he was the spiritual leader. He was helping each other out. So it's interesting how we all have a role to play. Don't sell yourself short. We don't have to be like everybody. You just have to be yourself, and yourself is somebody. So, with that, go out there and I won't say be a troublemaker because that might get me sued, but make something happen. You may not want to cause trouble, but unfortunately, sometimes that's at the risk for progress. Take action. Well, I'm gonna say take action, take action. It's like that's if it's rocking the boat, man. I wish I could tell you there's a way that you could read enough books and do enough audios and do enough whatever yoga that now you can live a life where you get all that you want and you don't have to rock the boat, right? Like we can go to the promised land and there's no giants. This is great. We can be diplomatic with these people and guess what? That's not true. Your promised land may require you to get bloody for it, to get muddy for it, to get into a fight for it. But if you're willing to get into that kind of trouble for what you want, maybe it was yours in the first place. Disclaimer: I'm not saying you should go and steal someone's husband. I'm just saying. I'm just saying for what you want in life, it's gonna require not just an agreement in your spirit mentally that I want it, but I'm willing to go after it. Let me say it with this analogy and I'm done. What do you want? I want vanilla ice cream. Fantastic. And we drive to the store. We get there. We go to Dairy Twist. We go to Dairy Twist. We roll up on them. You see the ice cream cone, you're like, my goodness, there it is for $1.07 or wherever it is. I might have lied on that already. This is gonna get canceled. I don't know the price for ice cream at a normal. Anyway, and you go up there and they're like, hey, what do you want? I want vanilla ice cream. Congratulations. Some people might walk up into their life and be like, what do you want? I want ice cream. Okay, can you be more specific? I just want ice cream. Now listen, I need you to be more specific. Okay, so you know what you want. Congratulations. That's 50% of the game right there. I want vanilla ice cream. They said, okay, well, with tax, that'll be $1.19. And you say, oh my goodness, I don't have $1.19. Well, guess what, Copernicus? We're not gonna give you the ice cream. I've been saying his name every episode, so I might. It's like I got Tourette's, dude. Oh man, we're not giving you ice cream because you. Here's the thing: you know what you want. That's good. You got to the place, but you're not willing to say this word with me. Pay the price. Are you willing to pay the price to make a difference, or do you just want to keep saying you will? Like, are you doing everything in your power to do so? This is something I gotta work on too. Am I really doing everything? Oh, I want a girlfriend. Are you doing everything in your power to get a girlfriend? Huh? I mean, doing everything that's righteous, all right? You reading books, you doing audio. Andre, there's got to be things more than reading books and audios. Okay, look up a video online that says how not to be a schmuck. I guarantee you haven't watched that one. Are there things that you can do right now? Let me say it this way: you can't make anyone love you, but you can make yourself someone worth loving. That's within your control. Lotus of control. It looks like I got off on a tangent, but this revolves around that to that point. Are you willing to do everything in your power to make a difference, to be that, even if that meant being a troublemaker, rocking the boat, losing some so-called friends, making things kind of odd. I can tell you right now, when you ask questions, and I know some people will always be like, "Oh, well, that's offensive, Andre." Well, I'm trying to get to a point. I remember one time I said, give you an example, and I'll close. I promise this time. Someone said, "Oh yeah, I love my dog," blah blah blah, and I was like, "Why do people pay so much for their vet for their dog? That's crazy." Or, why do people not care about cats? And it was a girl, and then some other guy in the background is like, "Well, Andre, that's that was a little uncalled for." I was like, "That was a serious question. I don't really care about your animal." I'm like, "Wow, 3 grand, that's something." Like, I don't think most human beings would pay that. Would you? I mean, you guys on the pod, would you do that? Like, hey, your dog is dying from XYZ thing. Would you pay 5 grand? Something I'll only have $500 in your bank account. You want for your dog? Holy shnikes! I mean, okay, this dog better save my life from a fire, right? Like, woo! But are you willing? Now, here's the thing. Now you can say, well, Andre, I don't really need to know things like that. Well, that's interesting. Why? Well, I just don't care. Okay, cool. But when there are things that you want to know about, but you don't know how to phrase your question, you don't want to cause a contentious argument or situation, why aren't you doing it? Well, I don't want to look like an idiot. Oh, there it is. And that insecurity you think won't come back and bite you in the rear end down the line when there's another important conversation. Forget the silly ones. You couldn't even do the silly ones. Like, now you're going to muster up the courage in the most important aspects. You get the courage and put the steel into the back of your spine because you got your speech straight in all the preceding fights. Or let me say it this way: David killed the lion and the bear. Then he almost got into a fight with his brother, and then he fights Goliath. It's interesting to note that he fights these two other animals and then fights Goliath. So for him, it wasn't the fight of his life. That was just another fight, just another battle, just another Tuesday. And that's what it has to get to you in your life. You make the difference so many times every day to the point where when that magnanimous moment happens and someone asks you who you are, you can answer that question and they'd be like, oh my God, who is this person? And you'd be like, yeah, I'm the same Joker who did this last week. That's the difference. It becomes a habit, it becomes an ingratiation of your character. Those that know shall be, and those that be shall do great exploits. That's another verse, but you can look into that. Know, be, do. Know, be, do. You have to know, you want to make a difference. You have to start ingratiating that into your character, what that means, your persona, and then you just do it. So, well, here we are. And that's that for this episode. You have a blessed day. And I'll talk to you later, difference maker. Toodles.